Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading for this week. We normally do love readings on this particular week, but this week I feel called to do something different, and it's called Reset with Spirit. Probably because of things that have been going on around in the world, but that's what we're going to do, Reset with Spirit. I'm using the deck called Return of Spirit by Cheryl Lee Hornish. So God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us clearly as it relates to resetting with you. What is the energy for Gemini? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Please show us clearly what is the energy of reset for Gemini as for the coming weeks. Okay, guys, ready? And we have up. Okay. Beautiful, lots of blue. For me, blue is trust, comfort. There's some green in here for healing. Let's see what the card itself says. Okay, time to lift your eyes off the ground and start looking up toward the heavens. Keeping you down and trying to be small isn't doing anyone any favors. This world needs you, the real you. Low self-esteem and self-worth are impeding your perception of whom and what you really are. It's also affecting your ability to put yourself out into the world. There's a whole other life waiting inside of you, crying to be lived. The only thing standing in your way is you. The universe sees you and knows you as a divine spark of the all. They are calling you now to begin embracing that aspect of yourself too. Stand up, hold your head up, and begin looking at the ways in which you are disempowering yourself. It's time to start building your own personal sense of value and your own sense of worth. Spirit knows this is not an easy task, which is why they have brought you this message today. Every time you feel you're not enough, look up to the heavens and know the entire cosmos is supporting you on this. When you see the sky above you, let that be your reminder that you are more than enough. You are God incarnated, and the only one who can give you value and a sense of worth is you. There's nothing your guides and angels want more than to see you step into the truth of who you really are. Start looking to the good within you, the value you actually do have, and the difference you really do make. Start to see yourself as the universe sees you. Human is what you are wearing on the outside. Inside, you are brilliant, a brilliant light of divine source. Remember who you are. Pretty powerful message there for you, Gemini. And you know what? With this time of global reset, global slowdown, this is a great time for you to work on this aspect of who you are and how you're showing up. We're going to get some clarifiers. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for our friends born under the sign of Gemini. And thank you for the message of up, to look up. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Show us clearly as it relates to the energy of up. What are the additional message that you have for Gemini during this reset with you? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. So we have Judgment. I love this card. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Swords. Okay. So I feel like what they're saying with this message, right? This message of up. They said in that reading, you know, that you have to judge yourself as worthy. You have to judge yourself as the source within you. Don't look around for other people's approval. This Judgment card right here, for me, it's about rebirthing yourself from the inside out. A whole new revelation of who you are and how you choose to show up. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is right under here. And for me, the Eight of Pentacles represents the student and the teacher. And if you've watched any of my readings, you've heard me talk about this. Whenever we study our lives and study our own situations, because they're asking you to look at yourself a different way, I feel they're wanting you to study you. And on those times or during those periods where you feel like you're not enough or you're unworthy or whatever, study what was happening around that perhaps. And did you let somebody else's words, did you buy into somebody else's words? Did you just allow yourself to get caught up in your head? What was it that brought you down? And then use that to teach yourself how to come back up. And then you have the Three of Swords. And I really feel like this is saying, guys, you know, it's not always easy to look at ourselves. Sometimes this card's about betrayal. And whenever it comes to a love reading, it's usually about a third party or some kind of infidelity. But we have three aspects of ourself. We have our God self, our higher self, and us. The human is what we wear, right? So, and sometimes the human that we wear betrays our higher self. This is the betrayal I feel like this is talking about. It's the same betrayal, basically, that it talked about in that particular message with this card up. So, Gemini, I feel like Spirit's saying to you, look at yourself and see yourself the way that we see you. And guys, this is really a common theme with different cards, a common theme throughout all of these resets. I feel like Spirit's wanting to take this time to reconnect with each of us individually so that we can stand in our power, so that we can stand in the truth of who we are and what our connection is to the source of everything that is. I love that for you guys. Okay, so we're going to get your PS. God, guides, angels, archangels, and Holy Spirit. And just so you know, if you watch my readings, you know that the PS is usually a whole different message altogether. But for some reason in this reading, these PS messages are clarifying the other cards on the table. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for this message for Gemini. Please show us clearly, what is the PS? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. So there you have the Temperance card. Okay, so remember I talked about that coming up. We have to judge ourselves worthy. Whenever we're starting to feel down, the message, the card is asking you to look up into the heavens and realize that you're connected to that source, right? And here's the Judgment card. It's saying that we have to find that worthiness within ourselves. We have to judge ourselves worthy. And then this card right here is the Temperance card. And basically what it's saying is be patient with yourself. Gemini, we don't flip like this overnight. There's a transmutation period where this energy is being transmuted. If a car's driving 100 miles an hour down the road, it cannot just stop and make a turn and go the other direction just like that. It has to slow down, let its foot off the gas, slow down, and eventually put the brakes on and then turn. So you're going to have times whenever you get frustrated with yourself, whenever you feel like, man, who do I think I am that I can make this kind of change within myself? No, be patient with yourself and allow your guides, your angels, your archangels, and the Holy Spirit to transmute this energy with you. Wow. Look at this. You have the World. Spirit's basically saying, I feel like I just want to read this whole thing again, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. Maybe I will. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to read the last paragraph again. Remember, this is the student and the teacher, right? We teach ourselves. By studying our own lives, we can teach ourselves. And then our world does change. And I feel like Spirit's saying, if we can look up, we can walk into this new space that they're wanting to bring us to. It says there's nothing your guides and angels want more than to see you step into the truth of who you really are. Start looking to the good within you, the value you actually do have, and the difference you really do make. Start to see yourself as the universe sees you. Human is what you are wearing on the outside. Inside, you are brilliant, a brilliant light of divine source. Remember who you are. So I feel like Gemini, you've been not standing in the truth of who you are. You've been allowing the human to betray you in ways that make you feel small. And that's not the truth. And that's where Spirit's wanting to bring you during this reset. Okay. And then with the Three of Swords, okay, wow. It's the betrayal, right? Where the human that we wear betrays our soul, what we came here to do. We get caught up, the five senses, right? We get caught up in this 3D reality, and the human betrays our soul and what we came here to do, and what we worked on with our spirit team before we came here, all that kind of stuff. So Spirit's saying, it's kind of the same thing as this. Don't get caught up in what you haven't accomplished. Don't get caught up in the betrayal. Acknowledge it. I haven't been good to myself. You know, it's about self-love is the most charitable thing we can do for ourselves and for others, because whenever we change, the world around us changes, the way that we interact with others changes. So acknowledge what has happened, absolutely, but then take that heaviness off. See that cloak? That cloak is super, super heavy. Take that heaviness of that cloak off and then bury that past, because that's not who you are, and walk away from the betrayal that the human does. Be patient with yourself as you do it, but then turn around and pick up those 2 cups that Spirit wants to fill for you in your life, where you become in union with who you really, really are. Okay, Gemini, that is your message from Spirit as far as reset goes. Look up. Look up. Whenever you feel unworthy, look up and realize your connection with the source of all that is. Okay, go out and have a super duper day. Bye.